Hey there, welcome back. It's time for another glimpse into the life of a GI fellow. My name's Ben, I'm a first-year GI fellow, and I'm on call this weekend. Currently, it's Friday night, and for us, at least in my fellowship, weekend call starts Saturday at 7 a.m. and goes all the way through until Monday at 7 a.m. So it's a long time, 48 hours, where you're on call responsible for all the pages coming into the liver, biliary, pancreas, and general GI services and seeing any new consults associated with those services. A consult basically means a patient that's submitted to the hospital that needs input from a specialist, in this case from a GI, liver, or pancreas biliary specialist. That could be anything from vomiting blood to pooping blood, to severe abdominal pain, to abnormal CT findings, to stones in the bile duct, to inability to swallow and getting food stuck in your throat as a result of it, to developing liver failure. It's a lot of stuff that I'm responsible for, but luckily I have an attending as well that's on call with me that I'll round with each day, and they'll be available by phone if I need assistance after hours as well. It's nice not to be on call on the Friday night of the weekend, because then you can kind of do something fun potentially, and then most importantly, you can get a good night's sleep leading into the weekend, so you start the busy 48 hours as fresh as possible. It can be a little bit chaotic on weekends, so we'll see how it goes. I'll film as much as I can, keep you guys updated on the patients I'm seeing or just what it's like being on call for me. Let's go! So this is the room where I sit during the day, and I'll answer pages with my phone over here. There's a computer right here, so I can type notes, look up labs, look up patients, and then obviously I have to go up to the floors to see patients when I get consults or to follow up on, see how they're doing. There's a lot of writing notes when you're on call on the weekend because it's one fellow that's covering the job that normally anywhere between 4 and 5 fellows would do, because normally there's a biliary fellow or a pancreas fellow, a liver fellow, and then 2 or 3 general GI fellows. And I'm covering all of that work over this weekend. Any new consults that come in for any of those services, I'll be the one seeing them. So it adds up a little bit. So there's a lot of just sitting in this room typing notes. All right, so I finished my notes and haven't gotten any new consults yet, knock on wood. So I'm gonna go home for a little bit. I'm gonna take a nap because I'm super tired, and we'll see if I get any more consults. Unfortunately, even though my work is done, I can still get additional consults after hours, even after I go home, so I might have to come back. But that's just a risk you have to take at a certain point. Hello, it's about 2:45 in the morning. Just got called in to check out a patient who coded, which means his heart actually stopped beating, and he had to get CPR and medications to try to increase his blood pressure, restart his heart. They succeeded in doing that, and shortly after his heart was restarted, he had bloody output through a tube that was going from his mouth into his stomach, suggesting that he might have been bleeding into his stomach. So they gave me a call. I came in to check him out. He actually is doing okay, all things considered. He's still very sick. He has a breathing tube. He's connected to a breathing machine, but he doesn't appear to have any blood coming out right now. A little bit did come out. It's hard to say exactly what that was from, but right now we're just going to monitor him very closely. His vital signs are stable. He's getting blood transfused, and we'll probably need to scope him either tomorrow or the following day, but no need to scope him at least urgently overnight in the middle of the night. So that's good. So I'm going to go home, get a little bit of sleep, and then I'll be back to round on him and round on the rest of my patients in the morning. So I'm back home, and I just got another page before I even went inside the house, and it's a page for an admission to our liver team. Someone who was just discharged a few days ago, which is unfortunately pretty common with patients with liver failure and liver disease. They're unfortunately very sick, and it's very common for them to be admitted to the hospital many times. This is a patient with significant lower extremity swelling. I haven't seen the patient, but according to the ER, the swelling goes all the way up to her belly, like from her bottom of her feet all the way up to her belly. So she's going to be admitted for IV, what are called diuretics, which are medicines that make you pee a lot to try to get the fluid off of her body. So I'm going to call the resident right now and let the resident know about that, and they'll see the patient. Luckily, I don't have to go back to the hospital because it's not kind of an urgent matter necessarily. So I'm going to let the resident know about that, and we'll get this patient taken care of, and then I'll try to get some sleep before I have to go back in tomorrow. Everyone's asleep. 7 a.m. I'm awake again, going back into the hospital. Gonna review all the patients from yesterday, see how they're doing, see if anyone needs new plans, or if we can still plan on scoping the people Monday, kind of as previously planned, and then I'll get new consults basically at any time, but usually they come in between 8 and noon primarily. It's lunchtime. Salmon for lunch. I love salmon. So I'm super excited. Gonna eat this real quick and then finish up my notes, and then I have one more consult to see. It's a woman who unfortunately came in with concerning for a mass in her stomach. So I'll see her, and most likely we'll have to do an EGD associated with that. I usually wear 2 masks, especially when I go down to the ER to see patients. I'm vaccinated for COVID, but there's just so many patients down there that could have COVID that haven't even been tested and might be exposed that I think it's safer just to have both masks on. Better safe than sorry. When you're on call, snacks are key. These cookies are insane. Alrighty, it's time to go home. I'm leaving at about 3:30, which is pretty good for a Sunday, honestly, because usually on Sunday I have to write sign out for all the patients that I saw, because like I was saying, I'm covering for a lot of different fellows, the liver fellow, the biliary pancreas fellow, and one or two other general GI fellows. So I have to tell them about the patients. I have to write that up, explain what needs to be done tomorrow, explain what's been done already, and kind of send that out to them. So that adds a little bit more time usually at the end of the day. But today was a little bit of a slower day, knock on wood, so far at least. Today I got one consult. Yesterday I got 5 consults, for example. I've had weekends where both days I get 6 or 7 consults. So it's really variable. You never really know what to expect. And obviously I can still get more consults later on today. We'll just kind of have to wait and see. So now I'm going to go home. I'm going to rest a little bit. And just answer any more pages that come in. Usually once you get into kind of the evening hours, it's going to be either the transfer center, after our patient calls, the ER trying to admit patients to the bronze team, which is the liver team that we have, or urgent GI consults. If there's a consult at this point where it's a patient who needs to be seen by a GI, but it's not an emergent issue, like a bleeding patient who might be on the verge of dying, then that consult often the team won't call me until Monday morning, just because it can wait. Like if it's just for abdominal pain or if it's for nausea or vomiting, there's things that the primary team can do to deal with that on the short term, and then they can kind of contact us Monday morning when we have kind of more staff and more people to deal with the consult. All right, so I'm back home. I'm a little bit rested. I took a nap. I got very lucky because I only got one page all the way from when I got home at around 4 o'clock until around, what is it now, 7:30-ish. So I was able to take an hour and a half nap and actually, hang around, watch some TV, say hello to my wife, which is always good. My call isn't technically over yet because it's around 7:30 right now, and it'll last Sunday night into Monday morning at 7 a.m. But unless something crazy happens, I think this will be the end. Thanks everybody for sticking with me, and stay tuned for more videos. Like and comment and subscribe too. Why not? Thanks.